Welcome into Chicago Bears now. Marcedes Lewis has officially re-signed on a one-year contract. Plus, Zacch Pickens, can he break out this year? We'll get to both those stories coming up on today's show. If you're watching live, yes, Michael Horowitz, we see you. We will get to that after this segment. Get the booms going in the chat. We're almost there, by the way. We're trying to get to 94,000 subscribers. Be sure to subscribe and help us reach our next milestone. We're just 135 subscribers away. Almost there. Tell a friend. Let's get to 94K as soon as possible. Okay, let's start with the news of the day. Marcedes Lewis is officially back in the fold. He has signed a one-year deal with the Chicago Bears. Bears tweeting it out saying, "Big Dog is back. Let's get it at Marcedes Lewis 89." And yeah, it's a good move. Like, there's a picture of him signing the one-year contract to return to Chicago. Shout out to Jay Glazer, who had the report yesterday that he would be re-signing with the Bears, being Hallis Hall here on Monday. And don't downplay this signing. Do not downplay this signing by Chicago because he's still a good player. We outlined this yesterday. I'll outline it here today. He could still play, and more importantly, he fills a need as that number 3 blocking tight end on this football team. There's no question about it. Cole Kmet's your most complete tight end. He's in his prime. He can catch. He can block. He got extended last year, well-deserved. He's that top guy. Gerald Everett, guy who can be a reliable pass catcher, gives you yards after the catch, can work the seam. He's in there as well. And then you have Marcedes Lewis. You couldn't go to battle with Steven Carlson, Tommy Sweeney, or Brendan Bates having to play real snaps. I just don't think that is a real option for Chicago. So you bring back Marcedes Lewis, a.k.a. the Big Dog, and he returns. You look at the PFF grades. He grades out well, man. He blocks good, 73.7 run blocker. He's kind of an extra tackle out there. He's not going to catch many passes. I think he had 4 or 5 catches for the 1 touchdown last year, but he's got reliable hands if you need to dump it off to him if absolutely needed. So, look, it's not a sexy signing, not a flashy signing, but it's an impactful one. There's no question about it. And these were 5 reasons why I like this signing. He's an excellent blocker, which I've already mentioned. He's an extra lineman out there, especially in obvious rundowns. It takes pressure off Kmet. Kmet was pretty beat up by the end of last year because with Robert Tonyan being so ineffective as that number 2, and with Marcedes Lewis at his age, he obviously can't play big snaps. Kmet had to play almost every down last year, so he was pretty beat up by the end of the season. Great asset in the locker room. Guys loved him last year. Kmet talked about the wisdom he took away from being teammates with Lewis, so he can offer that to the young players. He's familiar with Shane Waldron's scheme, not a big change up in what he's been used to playing in with Green Bay and Chicago the last few years. And again, the Steven Carlson and the other guys just not it. Like, they're practice squad caliber players. So, Lewis is back in the fold. I think it's a win-win for everyone. It's a good fit for him to play the role he plays at this point in his career, and also it's an ideal third tight end for Chicago. Everybody's happy, and he gets in earlier this year. Last year he signed after training camp start. This year he's in about a month out from training camp, 5 weeks, whatever it is. If you're excited to have Marcedes Lewis back, go ahead and type me down in the comment section down below. If you're excited to get Marcedes Lewis back in the fold, type me in the comments. And by the way, if you want more on the Marcedes Lewis re-signing, we broke this down yesterday on the channel. If you see this thumbnail, this is the video. So hit subscribe, go to the content tab. More analysis and detail to why I think it's an excellent fit. So feel free to go check that out. Today's show is sponsored by Mando. Listen, you don't want to be smelly. You don't want to be nasty. That's where Mando comes into play. Step up to the plate and take your personal hygiene more seriously with the Mando Whole Body Deodorant. Developed by a doctor, this game-changing formula is safe for your entire body and knocks out odor like a champ. Mando is made with mandelic acid, which picks off the odor at the source, keeping you fresh for for up to 72 hours. It is available in solid sticks, invisible cream, body wash, cleaning bars, and deodorant wipes for on-the-go use. Don't let foul balls ruin your game. Switch to Mando and keep your body odor in fair territory. You can get $5 off at shopmando.com with code CHAT. That's $5 off with code CHAT at shopmando.com. Threw my invisible cream behind the camera to my guy, C Breezy, so he can get hooked up with Mando as well. I've been using them for a while. You should too. Shopmando.com. Promo code CHAT gets you $5 off. That link is in the comments and in the description of this video. We appreciate Mando for sponsoring today. If you're a male out there, get going with Mando right now. Okay, let's talk defensive line. Zacch Pickens, can he have a breakout season in year 2 in 2024? I think he's got an opportunity to play at least a bigger role this season. Now, he's still not penciled in to be a starter at this point as of now. The favorites there, obviously Andrew Billings is going to be your starting nose. Gervon Dexter, your starting 3-tech. You got Zacch Pickens is your kind of clear number 3 defensive tackle. Then you got question marks, Keith Randolph, Michael Dwumfor, Byron Coar, a lot of guys who are kind of just fighting for roster spots. But I think we've talked a ton about Gervon Dexter this offseason, and not for bad reason. Like, with Justin Jones gone, he is the expected candidate to fill in and start, and Matt Eberflus has talked about him a lot. So is Eric Washington, Montez Sweat. But don't forget about Zacch Pickens, who was taken just a round later. Like, I think he's got an opportunity too. And quite frankly, the Bears need him to contribute. Like, he's their 3rd defensive tackle right now. Like, they need answers on the interior of that defensive line. And if he could provide a punch and take another step forward, that would be huge for this front 4 on this defense that ideally doesn't have to blitz as much as it did a year ago. Who will have the bigger 2024 season? Type GD for Gervon Dexter, ZP for Zacch Pickens. Let us know in the comment section right now. I think most would say Dexter, but both these guys still a little bit unproven. Last year, didn't play a ton, right? Raw stats, had the half sack. 1 forced fumble, I remember that play. That was a nice one. 20 tackles. He played okay overall. He was kind of the 4th defensive tackle last year behind Jones, Billings, and obviously Dexter. You look at the PFF grades also. 62.9 pass rush grade from PFF. That's pretty solid. Run defense, not very good. Played 263 snaps. So, he was playing 10 to 15 snaps a game depending on the matchup. I think one issue I see, and I vaguely remember saying this when they drafted these guys close to each other, is that based on body profile and what Pickens' skill set is, he's really more built like a 3-tech, and they played him as the backup nose last year. He's right around 295, 300, 305 pounds. That's not really a nose tackle build, and that's why I think you see the run defense grade there. It's like he's just not very effective at all. I think he's a better pass rusher than run stopper. So I wonder if he, whether it's this year or long term, becomes the backup 3-tech or kind of rotates more over there, because I don't think he can handle 330-pound guards. I just don't. So 3-tech, maybe even kicking out the edge every once in a while, I think is probably a better fit for him. So I think it's something to watch for once the pads come on in training camp and obviously into the season, is what exactly his role is, because I think he's better used in spots where he can be a more effective pass rusher. Now, what do you think the bigger need on the Bears' defensive line is right now? Do you think it's defensive tackle? If so, type DT, or if you think it's edge, just type edge. Right there. You can really go either way. I think signing a solid pass rusher would raise the floor of this front 4 as a whole, but there are question marks at both of those positions. All right, appreciate everybody for tuning in to our Bears News and Rumors segment here. Welcome back, Marcedes Lewis, the OG, and we'll see if they sign someone next along that defensive line. Be sure to subscribe and don't miss out on any coverage.